All right, good evening, everybody. Assuming we are live, yes. So we are live for once again another edition of the Aesir 1v1. This time the Void edition, and we're actually going to be getting right into the game as the bracket has already started. It should be up on your screens right now, as you can see. Steiner and Fomocry both have a bye, but they are in game, so I believe they have started their matchup here. And yes, Steiner versus Fomocry. We will get you in game right now. So, we're going to have a Vel'Koz versus Rek'Sai matchup, which is very interesting. We'll have to see. I mean, keep in mind, if you're a new viewer here, Fomocry was the Grand Champion last time around, swept the entire tournament, did not drop a single game using Callista for our Shadow Isles edition of the Aesir 1v1. This time around, starting off with the Rek'Sai, Exhaust, Ignite, Steiner opting for Vel'Koz. Ranged AP goes for the Flash and the Barrier. Arcane Comet and Conqueror, the two keystones here. And no Flash available for the Rek'Sai is interesting, simply because it does mean it's kind of hard for him to actually get Vel'Koz out. He is going to have to tunnel perfectly right onto him, which certainly can be done, and Steiner perhaps wisely taking the Flash for that eventuality. Oh, and there is the knockup coming through from Fomocry, and wants to see if maybe the Rek'Sai can steal the help, and he does. Steiner does pop the barrier, the Ignite's going to go down. That is a ton of damage coming through. Now the Vel'Koz very, very low here. Going to make it extremely difficult to get the scoreboard up here. Not a lot of CSing going on, but I don't think it's going to be necessary, especially once Fomocry digs over to level 6. We can take a look here. It's about halfway there right now. Once he has that ultimate, all he has to do is hit a Void Seeker, and he will be able to just execute Steiner straight up. Vel'Koz ultimate is not bad, but really not going to be useful in this situation. And there is level 6, so Steiner does have the Flash available, so he might have to just flash a Void Seeker if that comes out, but he's kind of too close probably to flash it right now. That did not hit him. But he's going to look for the knockup anyway. The Flash now comes through, and there's the ultimate from Fomocry. He's taking a lot of damage. He's just going to have to back out. Keep in mind, he does have the Guardian's Horn. My apologies for not showing the items earlier in my broadcast here. The Guardian's Horn gives him a fair bit of health and regen as well. So he can probably just wait this one out. Steiner's going to recover a fair bit. And there comes the ultimate just to clear some of the minions out. I think he might have tagged Fomocry with a proc or two, but without getting the fully stacked true damage on that, it's just not going to be very effective. Could get rid of those tunnels is not a bad idea, but you got to kind of be careful standing on those, given that Fomocry can just take them and then get the knockup straight away, no problem. There were filled with pots left for Steiner. One potion is still left for Fomocry, who is doing very well, and of course Rek'Sai does have her natural innate healing, which Fomocry is making pretty good use of. And CS is actually pretty good. I mean, slouch in the CS department. Steiner having some issues in the mana department. There's the exhaust. The knockup comes through from both. Void Fisher. Steiner is completely out of mana now. Fomocry cooldown on his ultimate about 24 seconds right now. Be able to use that pretty soon. Does still have his Ignite available too. We'll see if that comes into play, potentially trying to mitigate some of the healing from with the health packs, but I think at this point the Rek'Sai is just in a really good position. And we'll just have to wait and see if, in fact, lost my train of thought completely. But oh yes, we'll have to wait and see if Rek'Sai does make an appearance throughout the rest of the tournament, as it was the Callista that Fomocry was piloting that really kind of continued, and it eventually just turned into Kalista 1v1, or evolved breaking out the Vex/tournament around in the finals for a couple of matches, and it really didn't work. But of course, I appreciated the breaking up the monotony from a commentator perspective, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, does Fomocry set the standard, and this just turns into a Rek'Sai 1v1? Big score, definitely huge difference developing now at 41-22. That's going to be huge. Again, I would be surprised if Fomocry goes for the CS win here, but that may be what he's looking at. I mean, he's full HP. He should be able to play pretty aggressively. He's really just got to look for an angle to get a tunnel underneath Steiner and knock him up. Steiner, who will, I assume, be joining me in the casting booth here if he does get knocked out, just as last time. Yes, indeed, a few people in the chat pointing out that the mana problem would be there, but here we go. The knockout comes through. Steiner trying to knock the Rek'Sai back. It's going to back up in the turret. There comes the disintegration ray. Just going to do a little bit of chunk damage, but not a whole lot. Fomocry does have his ultimate available right now. He's going to be looking for one more knockup for the angle. He does have block there, so he could ult off of that. Now building up almost a 30 CS advantage, so I mean, really, the ball is in his court as far as how he wants to play this. Looks like he's going for a tower dive. He has the ultimate available to drop aggro, and he's going to use it right now. There's the barrier. One more auto to do it. No Fomocry. Oh! He turns around, and with the Void Seeker, Fomocry finishes him off to go up 1-0 in the series. Well played by the man piloting the Rek'Sai.
A summoner has disconnected.
We'll get the bracket back up on your screens here to see if we got any updates. And it looks like Vandrak has triumphed over Conungromir 2-0 in round number 1, so he will face off against Starvald. And down there at the bottom of the bracket, which you should see on your screens, Ulfald is up 1-0 over Colonel Xanders. And Zigram is still in round number 1, is 1-0 up over X Crossblade. But I believe we will once again find out the conclusion of Steiner versus Fomocry here in just about 30 seconds. And here we go. So, sticking with the exact same matchups, very interesting. Steiner swapping a flash now for Exhaust Barrier. And actually, Snowball taken by Fomocry this time around. Very interesting. First time we've actually seen Snowball taken in any of these Howling Abyss Aesir 1v1. So that's really interesting innovation from Fomocry. But sticking with the same champions, Vel'Koz and Rek'Sai, same keystones, the question will be, do we see a mix-up on the items? And we will. So Fomocry is going to stick with his build, but Steiner does opt for Boots. Lost Chapter had some major mana problems last time around, so very understandable. And first damage points are going to go down onto Steiner from Fomocry. Of course, has to feed the Boros. Rek'Sai looking for knockup. Nice dodge there. Kind of noting the Vel'Koz off. He is going to find. No, he does not get the knock. Oh, but with the snowball, I see the play there. Look at the massive damage coming through. The last hit might be enough, and wow.
Aced.
That was a fast kill. So very interesting. So didn't go for the snowball last time in game number 1, but here in game number 2, you can see the effect that it has, being able to snowball Rek'Sai, get the guaranteed undodgeable knockup there. You can definitely see what he's going for. And actually, so I didn't see, he did swap from the Guardian Sword to the Guardian's Hammer, so that was accounting for a little bit of the extra damage he did have in that all-in, but very interesting. We'll have to wait and see if that is the setup we start seeing developing as the tournament goes on. A lot of times, again, we do see, you know, a formula kind of figured out and refined as we progress. We'll go ahead and hop out of this one, though, and check back up with our bracket once again. And I believe Steiner will be joining me in the caster's booth momentarily as well. So unfortunate for him, but also fortunate for me. I have my co-caster back, of course. Trying to make sure he actually can join. And here he is, Steiner. Welcome to the caster's booth.
You know, good to be back with all the lovely people, you know. It's getting outed in round one, classic.
It is a classic. Well, I think we'll check out Ulfald's game here in about a minute and a half. Ulfald versus Colonel Xander. So if we check our brackets.
Ooh.
Right now, they are tied 1-1. So this is going to be game number 3, match point, deciding who moves on to the semifinals here. Fomacry is waiting on the other side of the bracket, as you see on your screens, for the winner of Starvald versus Vandrak. And X Crossblade and Zagram are also tied 1-1. I love it. I love seeing a little bit closer series than we had last time around. But we're just about a minute away, and then we'll get in to this matchup here.
I think one of the biggest things is where you're seeing a tiny bit of champ variety. There's been a lot of people talking about Cho being pretty nice, but Rek'Sai does seem quite strong, as you just saw. That burst is a little unreal.
And the snowball, that was really interesting. He had the guaranteed knockup.
Yeah, well, I tried to knock him, but yeah. You're right. It is quite strong, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised to see that, because I don't think we've seen a single snowball, at least in any of the matches that we've watched on broadcast. I don't think we've seen a single snowball in any of our tournaments so far on Howling Abyss. I mean, I kind of forgot it existed.
Yeah, that was definitely smart by him. But I mean, Cho and Vel are the two that can answer it with a knockup of their own.
And the silence, I feel like, would be kind of brutal. I mean, I don't know. I guess Rek'Sai is pretty auto-heavy, so not as bad, but still. I hate that silence. I hate playing against it. It's just a nightmare, especially once it's maxed. It's so long.
Yeah, it is crazy. It also does a crazy amount of damage for no reason. I'll just watch through the Twitch stream this time around, so
okay,
we dodge out enemies. Because I don't see him that behind.
Well, Colonel Xander is repping the Cloud9 tag, and this time around, okay, so going for the exhaust and the cleanse from Colonel Xander. So it can cleanse both the ignite and the exhaust from Wolfball, so very interesting, that kind of mind game coming along. Goes for the Guardian's Orb, wants a little bit of mana regen there, just come with the health, of course, as well, as with all the Guardian's items. And the Guardian's Hammer, so Ulfald really basically mirroring Fomacry's Rek'Sai build, but going for the Hail of Blades. But will they feed the Poro? That's the big question.
That is the big question. That's what's on everybody's mind. Not who wins, but who's the first to feed the Poro.
That is who wins. That's in the rules. I don't know if you guys actually read the terms.
Oh, my bad. I did. Yeah. I'm not a big reader. Sorry.
You play League of Legends.
Well, you know, Donkey's mom would be saying that's the problem.
It's true. Well, again, we're kind of seeing, again, the Rek'Sai kind of zoning the opponent off of the wave somewhat. Not a lot of early action there. Wolfball doesn't have the snowball that Fomacry was trying. Doesn't have that guaranteed knockup.
Yeah, you gotta be really careful against Rek'Sai every time he burrows and has that tunnel cooldown up.
Ooh, There's the knockup coming through. That's a lot of damage. The Hail of Blades. Excellent trade for Ulfwald. Over to level 5. Grab that. I don't know if he actually got that, but it's percentage missing health percent, so it's not huge to miss it at that high of health.
Well,
burning through a fair bit of mana too.
yeah, Wolf did a nice job of dodging some ruptures in there too during that little trade.
Mini game there.
Yeah.
Wolfwall just about to ding over to level 6. Xander is about 7.5% of the way there. So there is level 6. Don't know that he's going to look to tower dive, but does a bit of a CS lead. We'll see how many of these Xanders can pick up.
Rek'Sai is pretty good for tower diving for like the same reason Kayn is, because he can reset the damage.
Knockup from Ulfwald. There's the return knockup from Xander. Trading coming through. Ulfwald's going to back away. Does have the regen. A lot of him is exhausted, right? His cleanse exhaust back onto Ulfwald. He's going to back off. All summoners blown. And there's another knockup coming through. Xander has the ult. He can look for it. It's a true damage. It's going to be dodged out by Ulfwald. All he needs one more. The minions finish it off. Ulfwald picks up the win. Xander says he ran out of mana. Ulfwald with a narrow victory there, 2-1. He'll be moving on.
Yeah.
A summoner has disconnected.
Wow. Well, let's check the brackets after that. See if we've had another match finished off at this point. So X Crossblade did triumph over Graham. We can see 2-1. He's moving on to play against Feralzium in round 2. Vandrak is up 1-0 over Starvold. Let's see where they're at with that. Oh, they're a little bit into the game already. We're going to try to hop in right now, Starvold versus Vandrak, and see what's happening.
Nice. Ooh, Valkysa. I like it. Vandrak has the same summoner spells I kind of would have took, or I kind of started taking in my second game. I think that's by far the best, because if you get jumped on as Valkysa, you kind of just want to throw your spells and hit them, you know?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, that's what I would go. I think Exhaust Barrier is just OP. I mean, I guess you don't know exactly what champ you're against, but it seems like that's a pretty good combination. Starvold with the Grasp of the Undying, as well as Flash Exhaust on the Kaisa. Both players opting for basically mirror builds, Guardians, item, boots, 3-pot.
Standard. But Vandrak has fed the Pora, so...
Auto win, free win. Starvold should have the jump on him. We'll see if Vandrak tries to check the bush with a Q. Okay.
I think this is going to be relatively Bel'Veth's favorite, to be honest.
These Bel'Veth or Vel'Koz?
Yeah, Bel'Veth might win if
I think
these
Bel'Veth
two...
probably will. I mean, she's the Empress of the Void, so she theoretically wins all of these, right? Just, it's all Void. That's the goal of the Void,
Correct.
Isn't it? Domination.
Said Bel'Veth, though. I think... Like, the level 6 is going to play out pretty similar, where Starvold's going to try to go in, but...
Steal that health away. I mean, I know he doesn't really need it. So it's not a huge difference for Vandrak, but I always feel like that. Might as well steal it.
Yeah.
Starvold with the early push. Edging off on those Qs, quite nice. Cheat. Plasma efficient, that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, just about dead even. No pots used either.
I feel like Vandrak should be poking more with his W than he is. Also, what's with that bug? The bug numbers for
Sorry, the bug.
like the giant ass number, 9,999 and 10,000. Oh, you're not seeing them? There's like with Vel'Koz passive, it's like just happened with the relic.
Maybe that's my settings or something. I have it set to large numbers. Don't know.
Oh,
Boomer site helper numbers.
yeah. Big number.
There's a W getting thrown out. Okay, yeah, I see it there. 10,000. Interesting. And yet uninteresting, because really, not a lot of action. I mean, our previous Rek'Sai matchups have a lot of early First Blood, and all that, especially level 6. I do feel like the Kaisa into like if Vandrak uses the disintegration, lifelong disintegration ray, I mean, he's just sitting there. I think Kaisa, with her movement between her ult and her E, should be able to dodge out of a lot of that. Not to mention the added shield, or, I mean, that's, if there's no minions in the way, that's such an easy target for Kaisa to just throw a W onto the Vel'Koz and then ult right behind him for something to do to his ult. Of course, all in theory, though. Still just chilling, farming. Starvold with a slight lead in that department right now, but negligible.
Well, kind of the worst thing is Vel'Koz is running through his mana while Kaisa's big chill with the CS lead.
Vandrak's got a fair amount of mana left. He's got the Guardian.
Yeah.
Definitely feels like he can't really afford to trade too much, so he just starts throwing out, especially like he was early on. He's kind of got to decide, does he want his CS or does he want to throw out his abilities instead? Yeah, he's going to burn through it pretty quick that way. Still all quiet, and Starvold throwing that CS lead a little bit. And dodging out with his plasma vision very well. Yeah, no pots. Could have taken mana pots. What are they thinking?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, that's 50 ticked over for Starvold, so he's well on his way towards that 100 CS win condition. It's got to be on Vandrak's mind. He's still just chugging through the mana. I mean, he's going to get some back with those health pots, but or health relics, rather. Definitely feel like Kai'Sa is slightly easier to CS on, I would say, as well. I mean, you've got passive or Q is usually pretty good. You can often just finish off a minion with W even if you need to. As long as she's got the hit, which Marvel certainly does. Dodging off once again. Like in Solar Card, there's the left on the integration ray, the exhaust comes out, and Starvold's gonna go right onto the Vel'Koz. The barrier is there. And wow, that is a huge trade in favor of the Vel'Koz. Gotta be careful. The Plasma Fission, I think, is going to come back up soon. Wow. So out of nowhere, at level 11, we have our all-in, and nobody dies, but Starvold does have the life steal. Worth keeping in mind, of course, Guardian's Orb does heal health, but only if the owner is full on mana, which Vandrak has never been. That's led by him in that trade. I mean, even Starvold dodging a lot of the procs of the Lifeform Disintegration Ray was not enough. Still took a huge amount of damage. Healing up pretty well now. Really, yeah, once that Rupture is used, that should be an opportunity for him to go in, generally speaking, especially with the ult down. Tectonic Disruption. Excuse me. Correct nomenclature. I would think that'd be an opportunity for him to trade. I mean, with the passive and stuff, I guess he has grass, so he doesn't really have the all-in that something like a Hail of Blades would have, or even Lethal.
I mean, walking into
That's not good. Disruption does hit. No pots up for Starbolt, so he's got to be kind of careful here. Vandrak's ultimate is about 30 seconds away. Staying within the minions, trying to dodge out here. And doing a pretty good job of it. Just 6 CS up right now. We'll see how many of these Vandrak can pick up. He got one of them. So it's a 5 CS lead for Starbolt. You want to just keep hitting the minions as much as possible, and probably not queuing your W to the minions because he wants the life
They can run, but they can't.
as much as he can. No vision now, he's got to be careful.
Yeah. I like Vandrak pressuring for the being in front of the minions here. Definitely very good. One good tectonic rupture or whatever that was.
Tectonic disruption.
My bad. Into ultimate, and that will be Starbolt.
Yeah. Stack up that passive really quick.
Right.
Vandrak going pretty good in the health department. Again, Starbolt has got to keep life feeling up, but it's not a whole lot that the Guardian can do. He's dodging off the skill shots pretty well, though. Okay, dodges off disruption there pretty well. So at this point at 85, and Starbolt's got to have his eye on just the CS victory, which he should be able to get. And on the other hand, Vandrak has really got to be looking. He's got to hit the disruption. I mean, he's got to hit the E. Because he needs that all in. I mean, it's only 5 CS, but unless Starbolt really misplays, he'll have it. So you can see Vandrak going so aggressive.
Yeah, I think he's feeling the pressure and, like, actively trying to be as impressive as he can.
13 CS away here from a CS lead for Starbolt. I mean, it's really close, actually. That is a pretty big wave that's pushing towards Starbolt. I think he can probably back off here. He's going to ult in, and he's going to get hit by the disruption. Gets the crowd there. Flash from Starbolt keeps him safe. Okay, it's going to come through. 89 to 88. This is going to be a really close one down to the wire here. Health should be stolen away. Got to watch out for the disruption. I think that's back up. Maybe not just yet, or Vandrak didn't want to go for it. 93, 7 CS away from Starbolt from moving on to the semifinals. 4 CS. I mean, Vandrak has got. He's hitting the minions, I guess, but Starbolt's got a major lead right now. He's just got to hit a few more of those. He can almost just ignore the Vel'Koz.
It's that backline.
One more will do it, and that is it. 100 CS. That is the win for Starbolt.
Has disconnected.
And actually, my mistake. I was saying Starbolt's got his eye in the semifinals. Well, he does, but we are now tied 1-1 in this series. We're moving on to game number 3.
Fantastic.
We'll do a quick bracket checkup here first. All right, that should be up on your screens. And X Crossblade up 1-0 over Veralzium, and Ulfold. We saw Ulfold make his way to the semifinals. He's waiting for the winner of that matchup, and Fomocry waiting for the winner of the series we're watching right now, which is all tied up at 1-1.
Is there any champion we're not seeing that you think we should be seeing this?
That we should be seeing, I don't know. I really don't know how to. I mean, the Kai'Sa makes sense to me. The Rek'Sai makes sense to me. I mean, I was curious if somebody finds a way with Kha'Zix, but
You don't think like Malzahar might be a pretty good option?
I could definitely see I mean, we're seeing Vel'Koz, but not Malzahar. I mean, Malzahar could be considered a pretty good counter to Vel'Koz. He can just silence him right out of the disintegration, right? I mean, I could see Malzahar being dangerous. Music is kind of loud. Okay, my bad. I'll adjust the levels here.
I was honestly expecting a little more Malzahar. Not that we've seen every game and every champion pick, but
hopefully that's pretty reasonable.
it is nice to see the Cho, a lot of Rek'Sai obviously, but you know, some other people thinking Vel'Koz is a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, this kind of situation where you've got the long lane, you're just kind of farming, poking, that kind of situation. It definitely seems like he's well suited to it, but we're going to see any Vel'Koz this time around. We are seeing Rek'Sai versus Rek'Sai for game number 3.
Oh. They both had to sit through that long slog of a CS win, and now they're both out for blood.
Yep. They found that too boring.
Fair enough, you know. I wonder how the Rek'Sai mirror matchup like tends to play out.
We'll wait and see. Oh. Unfortunately, I believe our players did not stay for the full 3 minutes. My apologies. But I think we're going to have to just get a spoiler for that matchup. We will see. Our exciting game number 3. We didn't see what happened, but Starvold won 2-1. He's headed to the semifinals up against Fomacry. On the other hand, X-Cross played up against Ulfbald. Should be an interesting one.
Was last tournament Ulf Fomacry in the finals?
No, it's Orivold Fomacry in the finals.
Ah.
Well, we'll wait and see. Looks like Starvold is in Champion Select right now, so I think Starvold and Fomacry are going to go up first. We will make sure that you see all semifinals matchups and the finals, a best of 5. Semifinals, just a best of 3 right now, but Starvold versus Fomacry will be our first matchup, and we will get into that one and make sure that we actually see the match. Would be nice. So we'll try to ensure that does happen. Well, Rek'Sai, I mean, I was curious when I watched your match, Steiner, Fomacry, against you. I was curious if, as Fomacry made it all the way to the finals and won last time on the Callista, if his Rek'Sai was going to be the same thing, where he sort of set the pace for the rest of the tournament. It's kind of looking that way. We didn't get to see the last match, but it was a Rek'Sai mirror matchup, and I would not be surprised at all to see 1 or 2 Rek'Sais here in this semifinals series.
Yeah. It's just very strong.
I'm curious if we'll see the snowball again, or if we'll see more like exhaust, ignite, exhaust barrier, that kind of thing.
I definitely think so. I think that guaranteed knockup if you land the snowball is way too powerful to not see it, especially if you're jumping onto a squishy like Kaisa.
Absolutely. Well, it is Kaisa that we're going to see. Rek'Sai versus Kaisa. We've already seen Starvold pilot Kaisa to victory via CS against Vel'Koz earlier on. And Fomacry sticking with the tried and true Rek'Sai. 2 minutes away from into our first semifinals matchup of the night.
I don't know in this 2 minutes if you would be able to put on screen the little graphic Ulfald made in tournament chat for the changes in ARAM for the champions. It's pretty interesting. Rek'Sai and Kha'Zix are the only 2 that are like fully buffed, with Kaisa being just buffed. It's actually a very interesting spread. Like Kog'Maw is kind of unplayable, and like seeing these Malzahar nerfs with 90% damage dealt, 110% damage taken, and then huge reduction in damage to minions on all his spells. it is now clear to me why we're not seeing Malzahar. Anybody who sees these numbers would not pick him.
There they are up on your screens. Slightly scuffed, but perhaps viewable.
That is viewable. Yeah, obviously the Belveth other doesn't matter much, but I think Belveth might be pretty interesting to see. I don't think she'd be that good though. Can you even get Belveth transform without killing anybody on Aram?
I think you can with minions or like relics or something. I don't even know how it works exactly.
Neither do I. I was kind of expecting, even if that was kind of weird how that interacted with Aram, I was expecting Starval to pull out the Belveth. He is a Belveth enjoyer.
Maybe. Match point here in the semifinals. He'll bring it out.
Oh. Little pocket pick. Interview him about his pocket pick.
Yes, we'll have to. Well, we are ready to hit the abyss here for our first semifinals matchup.
What do you think? Turn him Rek'Sai best Rek'Sai skin, or?
I do really like that skin. I don't really like the pool party.
Pool party is cool. Yeah, turn him as a classic.
Once again, going for the Flash Exhaust Grasp there for Starvold, and no Snowball from Fomocry. He goes for the Exhaust Ignite, which sticks with the Conqueror he was using previously. No Guardian's Hammer, goes for the Horn, and the Longsword 2-pop.
Yeah, he was deciding between a longsword and a shield, or not a shield, a cloth armor. Went for the longsword in the end. It makes sense because I think his thought is just to get in that nasty burst and just call it a game one.
We'll see if he can do it, Starvold. Just gotta be careful. One knock-up, and that could be it. Although, no Hail of Blades, I feel like Ulf took, does change it a bit. I mean, the amount of burst that Ulf was dealing was just insane.
Yeah, Hail of Blades has a lot of really good synergy with Rek'Sai because of his little wind-up.
Looking for the knock-up there. Not going to find it on Starvold, just a Void Seeker, and that is it. Relic picked up by Star.
That's where Snowball would have came in really handy.
Prey Seeker, Prey Seeker. Void Seeker is Kai'Sa's W. A lot of seeking going on.
Snowball.
No, I was correcting myself.
Oh, sorry.
Once again, nicely done by Starval. Dodges off with the supercharge. Dodges away from the knock-up there. From the aptly named Tunnel. Or should we say Unburrow? Most of Rek'Sai's abilities are just quite logically named. Tunnel, Burrow, Unburrow.
Yeah, Queen's Bite.
Queen's Wrath.
Oh.
Starvold getting the early push here, but CS is just about dead even. Actually, Biscuits this time around for Starvold as well. So with the Grasp, I wonder if he's really just going to try to outlast and just not get all in. I mean, definitely on a knife's edge, making sure he avoids all of those tunnels every time. And he is going to dodge that one, but he's getting chased in the wrong direction. There comes the knockout. Exhaust comes down. Ignite's trading back and forth, but Starvold has the Grasp. There comes the ultimate out of Fomocry, going to force the flash out of Starvold.
Starvold flashes into tower range while Fomocry is iron. That turns out a little. That could have been a kill.
Potentially, yeah. Oh, he does have the extra health from Guardian's Horn, and he can take another shot maybe. But... Oh, and now the exhaust comes through, looking for another Knockup is going to come through. Starvault's going to get to the health. He's got to get out of there. He's taking so much damage. The Conqueror is fully stacked. Foamcry is now getting turned back on. A lot of minions are hitting him. Is the Void Seeker available from Star? Maybe not. Just about dead even on the health. No summoner spells available. We've got to be careful. The tunnel's going to be coming back up in 3 seconds. Probably going to miss the Prey Seeker. Looking for another one. And he is going to get dodged off. Starfold with a supercharge, trying to get away from it, but there's the knockup coming through. Now Foamcry trading back in. This is going to be a close one. Does have vision with the minions. One more auto is going to do it. Wait, the minions? No way. He lives with maybe 10 HP. Foamcry is out of there.
That is crazy lucky. Starvold doing a really well job of kiting during that interaction.
Yeah.
Foamcry can't really catch him without the exhaust to slow him down.
Yep. Starvold with no biscuits, no potions left right now. We should have another biscuit coming in, I think, in about 90
Does
seconds.
have a relic.
Yep. Down CS, but I would be surprised if Foamcry looks for the CS lead at this point. Maybe.
It would be hard for him to get it, I think. Even with Kaisa behind CS, with a few levels in the Prey Seekers, it's just too much. Too much wave clear.
Yep. Gonna pick up a few of these right now. Starvold trying to get rid of those tunnels. No Poro feeding has occurred, unfortunately. Oh, looking for the knockup again. It's going to come through. Starvold's going to be careful. Does have the exhaust. Ignite comes down. There's the Void Rush. Exhaust is there. One more auto is going to do it. Foamcry. Oh, the Void Seeker misses from Starvold, but he is so low. Even with the Guardian's Horn, we are seeing, and without the Hail of Blades, we're seeing the all-in potential of the Rek'Sai there. Starvold's got to be so careful.
I like how Foamcry did like a mind game with the tunnels. To take one that was already there, walk back a little bit, and then spawn a new one to start that engage.
Nicely done by him. Well, Starvold's got to be pretty careful. There's the exhaust. That slows him down enough to guarantee the knockup. Foamcry looking for just one more hit, but he actually can't get it. Starvold dodges the Prey Seeker. Okay, he's still in this one. The innate sustain between Rek'Sai and the Guardian's Horn, though, is really keeping Foamcry pretty healthy in comparison. There's a health relic back there Starvold really needs to take before Foamcry has a tunnel coming up. He has one right now. Tries to look for it. Now he does. Looking for the knockup. Starvold on the run. And again, okay, nicely done by Foamcry. Dodges off in the Void Seeker. Starvold still alive in this one, but actually now down 10 CS. And these are some frightening trades.
What is the Starvold Trask?
He certainly can. He has 19 procs. Nope. Starting to heal himself up a little bit. No more biscuits, but still has the innate lifesteal from the Guardian's Hammer. Looking for the knockup as Foamcry. Starvold supercharge away. Foamcry still looking. Already had a tunnel there. The Ignite comes through, and the Void Rush finishes it off. Foamcry picks up the win.
A summoner has disconnected. A summoner has
Get a bracket back up on your screens here. We can see an update. So for game number 1 of the semifinals, that is Foamcry up 1-0. And that is my League of Legends in-game crashing. Right on cue. I'm very sure I want to end this process. All right. Well, we should have time, hopefully, to get you guys into game number 2 here in just a minute or two. Here we go. 70 seconds away from game 2 of our semifinals. Fomocry already up 1-0. And this time around, you asked for it, Steiner. The Belveth is here.
Oh! Starvold pulling it out. I like it. I like it. I don't think it'd be too bad into Rek'Sai either, because you get the guaranteed knockup if he ever charges into you. Just because his tunnel is like so insanely telegraphed, you know? He's never going to be able to dodge it. And also just like the damage reduction while if he went Tail of Blades, the damage reduction Belveth has to being able to withstand burst could be a really good tool.
We'll have to see how it plays out. The first Belveth we've seen on broadcast anyway, and in 5 seconds, we're going to see how Starvold fares piloting the champion, or if Fomocry will continue his streak of dominance in the Aesir 1v1s and book a ticket to the finals.
Both Ignite Exhaust.
Press the attack for Starvold, opting for essentially his Kaisa build. Although, no, I think he went for the boots with the Guardian's Horn. This time he has the long sword. Starvold going to be caught out by the Prey Seeker, and now going right in. Fomocry again with the Conqueror, sticking with the same build. Starvold looking for the trade here, but ooh, that is heavily in favor of Fomocry's Rek'Sai.
Minions have spawned.
You know, testing the waters. You got to test the waters.
Figure out the damage. Oh no! Another knockup comes through. The Ignite and Exhaust are there. Wow! And that is it. A little bit anticlimactic. Belveth was a poor choice. It is looking that way. There is the Belveth, and it's looking like the Rek'Sai is going to be the go-to for the rest of this tournament.
Could be. Could be.
Well, okay. That is going to be Fomocry headed right to the finals on the back of his Rek'Sai performance throughout the tournament. Looking very clean, and we'll wait and see. I think we should be ready to go to hit the other semifinals matchup here. Get you an update as soon as I have them on when that will begin. And they are in Champion Select right now, so it's going to be the other matchup you see on your screen, Ulfald versus X Crossblade. Fomocry already waiting in the finals after a 2-0. And again, Fomocry has not dropped a single game. That Kaisa game was so close.
Was every interaction was kind of on a razor's edge.
Yeah, I mean, like one more minion shot would have finished him off.
And 10 HP at one point, like you said.
All right, Ulfald and X Crossblade are indeed in game. So it is going to be the Malzahar showing up here for Ulfald, and X Crossblade is going to be piloting the Cho'Gath. definitely interesting. We've seen the Cho'Gath once before already. Barely falling to Ulfald's Rek'Sai. I mean, that was another extremely close matchup. But now we have the Malzahar. It's very interesting. Both champions with a silence in their kit.
Right. Interesting to see our first Malzahar. I wonder if Wolf's been playing it before this match. Like I said, with the all the nerfs that Malzahar has, I wasn't expecting to really see him.
Yeah. Let me get those back on everyone's screens real quick.
Yeah, as a reminder, Malzahar has 90% damage dealt and 110% damage taken, and a lot of reduced damage to minions.
Could be rough. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. Although I think he's definitely one of the better picks into Cho'Gath, if you were expecting a Cho'Gath to come through, because you just have a free rupture or free silence or rupture that you can block with your passive. He's never really gonna have the push on you. So you'll probably always control the wave as Malzahar.
Could be important. We've seen CS victories. It hasn't just been all the all-ins all the time. We have seen instant all-ins. We just saw one in the Bel'Veth versus Rek'Sai. Hey, no complaints. However the players want to play it, fine with me. We'll see how this one develops. We are ready for our other semifinals matchup. Here we go. See about the builds here. So Flash for both players. Barrier for Crossblade's Cho'Gath. Ignite for Ulfald. Opting for the Phase Rush for some kiteability, I suppose. Comet for the Cho'Gath. And Lost Chapter for both, but Boots to accompany it there for the Cho. Meanwhile, Fairy Charm for Ulf and a Potion. Oh, and there is an early Rupture hit by Crossblade.
It looked like Ulfald stuck his pinky toe into that and sent his body flying.
Yeah, sent a lot of his health bar to the stratosphere. But who will feed the Poros? Ooh, another one landed. Wow. Crossblade showing off early on. I thought that one was going to hit. Whew. Maybe the boots would have been a good choice. I mean, just to try to dodge off of these.
Yeah, I mean, he had the choice too. It's boots or fairy chime. He opted for the fairy chime.
Well, we'll see as things develop. Does have that mana regen. Now he has that passive shield back. Dodges off of that rupture. There's that push coming through you mentioned, Steiner. So we'll wait and see how this goes. But early on, it's definitely been Crossblade's Cho'Gath making the plays.
A lot of HP regen coming in from Ulfald. He was half health not too long ago.
Chugged some potions.
He didn't have it.
He did. He did.
Oh, okay.
Should have had, I think, one, actually.
He must have chugged them before I even knew that.
Yeah, well, he walked right up, and then that rupture came right through.
Right.
Gotta be careful of those. Silence is not going to land.
Think Ulf is going to go for a CS victory?
I mean, the Malzahar sounds like a CS victory kind of champion.
Right.
I mean, he's got to be careful because he has no innate sustain. I mean, he has that one potion that's gone. So he's got to make it all the way from 17 to 100 CS without any way to recover his health outside of the health relics and just his base passive health regen.
And without boots to dodge the Cho'Gath spells very easily.
Yeah, I mean, it's like landing against the Blitzcrank for 20 minutes, and it's like, okay, don't get hit by a single hook. You got to dodge every single one.
Right.
I mean, at some point, one's going to hit. You just have to assume. Opal's playing pretty far back here and has dodged quite a few of them now. Oh, nicely done on that one. Still just taking a lot of damage. There comes the ultimate, and a lot of damage coming through. There's the barrier. Again, the Rupture doesn't hit. The Silence, the Flash Feast, though. And Crossblade has got it. He takes down Ulfald here in match number 1.
It is little honeybee head off.
How tasty do you think Bizahar is?
Well, these are... Depends on how much nectar's in their gut. Could be pretty sweet. And not too appetizing, but...
Okay, well, we're getting right into draft game number 2. So Crossblade with an impressive victory on the Cho'Gath in game 1 opts to mix it up. As you can see, Bel'Veth against Malzahar. Ulf is bringing it back with the Malzahar again. Here in match point, Crossblade, one more win. He's headed to finals to face Fomacry, but Crossblade going for the Bel'Veth. Very interesting. So Starvold tried the Bel'Veth before. I love the innovation. And actually, I don't know if anybody was watching chat, but Fomacry, who has some authority as our reigning champion, believes that Bel'Veth is the second best champion out of all the Void champion options.
I would say Starvold was playing a little disrespectful of the Burrow, like, engage that Rek'Sai has in that game.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see how Crossblade pilots it. Completely different matchup this time, of course, up against the Malzahar. And honestly, a pretty close one last time from Ulfald's Malzahar. I mean, I can see why he wants to bring it back. I think as long as you don't get hit by those ruptures. Of course, this time around, it's a whole different kind of rupture he's got to dodge.
And you know, that's another thing, because the only thing that his passive is gonna be blocking around this is gonna be blocking this time around is going to be Bel'Veth's the fissure ability.
We can cheat here. Void Surge. Wait, nope. I'm trolling. Above and below.
Huh?
Above and below.
That's a stupid name.
Wrong.
Welcome to the Howling Abyss.
Ulfald going for Flash Barrier, but the Airy this time around, not the Phase Rush. Conqueror for Crossplay with the Flash Barrier as well. Guardian's Hammer for the Bel'Veth. Dodges the above and below there. And Lost Chapter Boots this time for Ulf. Again, yeah, we talked about the boots potentially giving him that boost. He's listening to the stream, listening to our coaching.
Crossblades also, when listening to the coaching, he also liked the boots.
Mm-hmm. And has a pair of potions to go with him, which Ulfald could not afford. You know, inflation, what can you do? You just can't just be buying potions willy-nilly these days.
Awesome premium. What is
Ooh, above and below comes through, and now Crossblade. Look at the damage with the Void Surge. There's the fully stacked Conqueror. Wow.
That's a pretty late barrier from Ulf. He was not expecting that just as much as anybody else.
Yeah. Well, I'm seeing now what Star was going for with the Bel'Veth. I think we're seeing now the potential.
Right.
I mean, wow. Fearsome. Oh, the above and below is going to hit. That could be it. The Flash will not save Ulfald. Wow. The power of the Bel'Veth coming through. So Bel'Veth Rek'Sai perhaps going to be the power picks heading into our finals, which is right where we are going to go because Crossplay just booked his ticket 2-0. He will face off against Fomacry in the grand finals of the Aesir 1v1 Void Edition.
This is going to be pretty high because, like I was saying, there's no very high chance Fomacry picks Rek'Sai again, I believe. And I would believe Crossblade is trying to play Bel'Veth, and I think Bel'Veth does have the edge in that matchup. But Fomacry has not dropped the game in both tournaments so far. can Mr. Crossblades be the one to pull it off?
We'll have to wait and see. I mean, honestly, at this point, even taking a game off of him in finals, I would be pretty impressed. Fomacry has been basically untouchable. I mean, again, I have to go back and give credit to Starvold. That was so close that I was sure the Rek'Sai was dead. I mean, how many times have I died with a bunch of minion shots trailing me, chasing me down, the heat-seeking missiles from the caster minions. And but somehow he survived and he brought it back. So credit to Fomacry on that. I mean, coming back and winning that after being 10 HP.
I bet he dies if Rek'Sai doesn't have 90% damage taken.
That is very true. Very true. The nerfs and buffs on Howling Abyss coming through huge. Well, you can see the updated bracket on your screen. Again, Fomacry versus X Crossblade in a best of 5 here in the finals. We've been doing best of 3s. Now we're headed to best of 5s. I'm seeing both players are currently in Champion Select. It should be Fomacry there on the, technically the blue side. I mean, left side. I don't know what you call it for Howling Abyss. The bottom left side.
Looking at the bracket, it looks like Crossblades also only dropped 1 game himself.
Yeah. Dropped 1 to Orivald, aka Zagram, in round number 1, and ever since then has been churning out 2 0s. And here we have our champions reveal.
Cho'Gath. He's mixing it up, going back and forth.
He is. I wonder if he expected the Rek'Sai, because Fomacry's just been sticking to it. I mean, at this point, he has to have figured the Rek'Sai is coming in, depending on how much information he has.
I wonder if he just thinks Cho'Gath is better into Rek'Sai, which could be true.
Quite possible.
I think they both kind of have a similar tool set to deal with Rek'Sai, while the execute for Cho'Gath is just so crazy. Such a mean tool.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen it used very effectively. I mean, as soon as you tick into that window, just flash feast, you're gone. Well, we are just over a minute away from game number 1 of our grand finals. Fomacry versus X Crossblade is going to be a Rek'Sai Cho'Gath matchup this time around. The one thing I have to say, and maybe this is just by virtue of what champions are available in Shadow Isles versus the Void, but seeing the variety not just in builds, but in champions this tournament around has just been a thrill. I mean, the Rek'Sai definitely seems pretty reliable, but the Cho'Gath seems good. I mean, I don't even think necessarily things like the Vel'Koz or Kai'Sa were that bad. Again, I have to go back. The Kai'Sa almost won. The Vel'Koz, I definitely can see the angle too.
Yeah,
No pun intended. The angle, geometry, Vel'Koz, etc.
I think we haven't even seen Kha'Zix, who is also receiving similar buffs to Rek'Sai on Howling Abyss.
Yeah, I'd be curious. I mean, I do like Kha'Zix, but I guess the playstyle, I mean, it's hard for him to just be farming in a lane and, like, trading. I mean, he can't really do that in the minions. He really just has to all in or just hide, I feel like.
He has 20% healing done. Just max your healing.
I suppose, but how do you even trade? I guess you just jump in and then leave.
Yeah. Jump in, Q, no further questions.
My job here is done.
But you didn't do anything. Just half my HP.
All right, we should be loading in right now. Come on, League of Legends client. Here we go. Gentleman Cho'Gath is the choice by X Crossblade. Eternum Rek'Sai once again for Fomacry.
Correct choices from both. Although Cho'Gath's newest skin, I forget what it's called. That is also a work of art.
Oh.
Cho'Gath's fucking
Is it Shanghai
dinosaur.
Scrolls or no?
No, Shanghai Scrolls is it's something like Abyssal Terror. I want to say that, but I know that's not even close.
Yeah, that makes me think of like one of those really old cheapo Cho'Gath skins.
Yeah,
Is something about like terror of the ocean or
it
something.
looks
It
like
just
really Bloodborne-y. The new skin is one of the things that it makes me think about it. Very nice. Covenant Cho'Gath, Broken Covenant Cho'Gath. Thank you.
yes. He does look very. I mean, the splash art is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here we go. Game number 1 of our finals. Crossblade versus Fomocry. Checking out the builds here. Lost Chapter and Comet again for Crossblade on the Cho'Gath. We can see how much damage that Rupture does do if he can land it. But will the Prey Seeker come out first? I mean, you have to assume Fomocry is going to check, and he's going to find him.
Welcome to the Howling Abyss.
Just stand off.
Oh, the Rupture does not connect. Okay. Oh, does get that one. Not as much damage, though. I think the extra health from the Guardian's Horn. And did you say Rek'Sai has damage reduction as well? He has 90%, right? I think that's a huge difference you see when the Malzahar, when Ulf Malzahar was getting hit by those Ruptures. I mean, he was getting massively chunked.
Yeah, Malzahar takes 110% damage.
Yeah. Well, the knockup comes through. The Rupture is not going to come through. There's the barrier. Exhaust, Ignite, Flash away already from Crossblade. A Prey Seeker to finish it off. Does get the Rupture. But again, that 90% damage reduction. I mean, Crossblade is in a lot of trouble here early on. No potions.
Yeah, he does have built-in sustain in his kit if he can auto minions, but being a squishy AP Cho'Gath, I don't know how much he's going to be able to do until this wave hits his turret and he gets what he can.
Yeah. Not as good as the Trundle passive. Where, oh, hold on, though. Okay, gets the silence off. Both kiting back and forth. Gets another Rupture there. All right, so he's trading pretty well back here. Well done by Crossblade. I was going to say, if we get a moment here, the Trundle passive where you can just exist. And you can even throw down your Frozen Domain for the extra healing. But Cho'Gath actually having to last hit. But yeah, Crossblade doing pretty well here, hitting those Ruptures. Fomocry actually does not have the boots, as much as that doesn't sound like something that Rek'Sai would actually need, much like Corki. She does need a little speed boost in order to dodge those Ruptures more effectively. And now Fomocry does have the Void Rush available, but the Feast is there too. Gotta be real. I mean, Fomocry's been tower diving people the whole tournament long. But with the Feast there, you gotta be so careful because the turret shots, the damage, you're gonna tick into that Feast execute window pretty quick.
Rushing back to the realm. Pretty good. Wave's pushing into him anyway, so it's not like he needs to be there to look at some minions die.
All right, 21 to 18, but a huge wave here is going to be available for Fomocry.
Did I see that right? That Fomocry has a Resolve secondary,
He does,
Bone
yep.
plating?
Bone plating and Revitalize. So the Feral Scream does not hit, but Ruptures are occasionally finding their mark here for Fomocry. And there, once again, really taking a lot of minion damage, though. Be careful. But if you can pick up a few of these, especially that cannon, well... Actually, there's no difference between the cannon and the casters since you can't recall unless you somehow get to execute off. Crossblade really pressuring Fomocry here. I mean, he's got to be careful. Oh, interrupt there on the tunnel as well. A lot of damage. Ooh, the Feral Scream comes out too, and a Rupture. Crossblade showing off the Cho'Gath mastery in this tournament.
That rupture hurts. Just a few levels into the rupture, and it just... Well, actually, it's max rank, isn't it?
One more. He needs one more. Rank 4
Oh.
right now. He has 1 point in Vorpal Spikes.
Right, 9 is your first match. I've been playing League for years, by the way.
Oh, Foamcry does not get the knock up there in the tunnel. Now it comes through. Exhaust onto Crossblade. There's the health for Foamcry. He's going to get hit by the Rupture. The Void Rush is available. So is the Feast. The Barrier is down. The Ignite is down. Will either of them look? No Rupture. So all Summoners burn, but Crossblade does still have the Flash. Of course, not as useful in the All-In, but could be useful to chase somebody down and get that Flash Feast, as we saw him do already to Ulf's Malzahar previously. And the CS in favor of Crossblade right now. I mean, actually, yeah. Just about 8 CS up. Waves about even. Crossblade looking potentially for an all-in. Is going to get the Rupture and the Feast. Crossblade hands Foamcry his first loss of this and the previous tournament. I don't know how this finals is going to go, but wow, that is a heck of a game number 1.
I think Foamcry is going to need to figure out a new pick. I don't think the Rek'Sai's working against Cho.
It seemed pretty tough. I mean, how do you even walk in? You're going to get silence. I mean, you can't dodge the silence. And the Rupture is so hard. I mean, maybe with the boots. Maybe with the boots it's a little easier, but it's hard being a melee champion because you kind of got to be up close to him, you know?
Right. And I really don't think you win it just being up close to him even, you know? Trading auto for auto. I don't... Because Cho'Gath's, like, on-hit ability just deals crazy damage also.
Yeah. Well, X Crossblade up 1-0 in the series, and this time around pivots once again to the Bel'Veth, while Foamcry, sticking with the Rek'Sai, wants to see it through.
Now see, that's... I don't understand that. We see something work, we switch it up. I mean, I'm down for it. I love the variety. I want to see it, in fact.
I have to assume he expected a pivot from Foamcry off of the Rek'Sai, like we did as well. I don't know what he thought he was going to pivot to, but, yeah, interesting.
I guess that could be true, that he thought, just like us, he thought Foamcry would mix it up, but sticking to his guns.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if there'll be any difference with summoner spells, though.
I'd be curious. I mean, I always want to question the Flash because it just isn't a combat summoner, and yet I feel like Crossblade keeps proving me wrong, that it's just so useful to just Flash chop somebody.
Especially on somebody like Cho'Gath, who's just a lumbering Hulk. So, like, getting in range is, like, one of the problems you need to overcome.
Mm-hmm. 5 seconds now, and we will hit the Abyss for game number 2. Now, remember, this is a best of 5, so whereas previously this would have been a match point, it is not yet. But Crossblade up 1 game, feeling pretty good. We'll see if he can extend it to 2, or if Foamcry can strike back. Checking out the builds this time around. Conquerors for both. Oh, the snowball again for Foamcry. Maybe that last game he was thinking, I can't get on this guy. I need a snowball.
I gotta be stickier, maybe. They both went Conqueror. That's gonna be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always like the Guardian's Horn. I mean, we really saw how much more damage Rek'Sai can do with the hammer, but the sustain is just crazy. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was the Guardian's Horn that was taken by Foamcry against Starvold's Kaisa, and that's how he healed back up so much from being 1 HP.
Plus with his Fury, like, his Fury regen when he's burrowed.
Yeah, and you
really
said
don't think
20%
it
healing
makes
buff too, right?
No, that's Cosmic.
Okay.
Oh, wait, no. Rek'Sai has that too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, massive sustain there. Dodging off of the tunnel is Crossblade. A little Void Rush. Oh, no, not Void Rush. What am I thinking? Void Surge. A lot of Void going on.
The Voids, a lot of Seekers.
Yep. Ooh, Crossblade with a Void Rush. In and out. Void Surge. Boy, that's going to take getting used to. And there is the above and below. Look for the knock up there. Got to be careful. There's the Snowball coming through. A lot of damage. Fully stacked Conqueror. Barrier used by Crossblade. Now looking potentially for the all-in. No. Foamcry takes a turret shot, but Crossblade is back under turret. And we've seen Foamcry use this strategy. He has more sustain. He can go for the trade, back off, and he will win the long war. Crossblade with a fair bit of sustain of his own, to be fair, has the Guardian's Hammer too. And there's the above and below, and a quick Void Surge gets him back out. Foamcry looking for another tunnel, and again, the Void Surge, so we can actually, I can definitely see this interaction because Bel'Veth is so good at dodging out of the tunnels, the Unburrow there. There's the Snowball though, and now a lot of damage coming through. There's the Ignite onto the Bel'Veth. Gotta be careful. Ooh, that is a lot of damage, down to about 80 health there for Crossblade. And how far are we from 6? We're already there. The Void Rush is available for Foamcry when he wants to use it. All he has to do is hit a Prey Seeker, and that's going to be a lot of execute damage.
That interaction happened one way later. That would have been game.
Yeah. X Crossblade, still pretty low on HP here. Foamcry also with a nice CS advantage. I mean, Crossblade's going to try to pick up some of these, but getting zoned away quite a bit. Quick chomp there from Foamcry. And Ken with a Void Surge. Yes, Crossblade gets the health, but it could be a fatal mistake. No. The Void Surges are enough to get him in and out. Mission complete. Does pick up the Health Shrine. Ooh, and that Prey Seeker, again, that's starting to hurt. A lot of points into that there from Foamcry.
Foamcry still can't, like, blindly go in because of that damage reduction right there that Bel'Veth gets. It is crazy.
Yeah.
So you gotta make sure she's real low or has that on cooldown.
Crossblade with the above and below, now looking to go in. Void Surge back out, and there is the Snowball. A lot of turret shots on the Foamcry, and there is the Void Rush, and that execute is going to finish off Crossblade's Bel'Veth. A victory for Foamcry, who's going to even up the series now 1-1.
A summoner has disconnected.
So, checking out the champions now. We have a pivot back to the Cho'Gath for X Crossblade. Foamcry again. Hey, tried and true, sticking with the Rek'Sai once again for Game 3.
Yeah, I think he's very adamant that Rek'Sai is the best.
Looks that way. Minute and a half, and we'll find out. One of these two is taking us to match point, up 2-1. Right now, they are all tied up in this best-of-5 grand finals of the Aesir 1v1 Void Edition, in which we've seen a lot more variety than our Callista-a-thon last time around. The Cho'Gath has been very fearsome for Crossblade, and this is the exact matchup that he won in game number 1. But Foamcry has to have expected this after the Bel'Veth loss. You have to assume he's expecting a pivot back to the Cho'Gath. So I'm curious, does he opt for the boot start or something like that to try to dodge the ruptures?
Well, if he goes boots, he can't go longsword. So he loses out on a lot of damage when fighting an already tanky Cho'Gath. Or, well, tanky after some levels.
Yeah. Questions left to Fomocry as to how to approach this matchup that he did lose in game number 1.
Yeah,
But
I
well
would
played
say,
in game number 2.
Yeah, well played in game number 2, but I would say it's very much up to how Fomocry would like to play it out.
Well, we will find out as we load into the abyss here.
I wonder
Game number 3.
I wonder if we'll ever see Hail of Blades Cho'Gath.
Would be interesting.
Known mid lane cheese build.
Okay, so no boots from Fomocry, but sticks with the snowball. That did seem to be pretty effective last time around and has been in previous games for him. So is going to have that ability to get right onto the Cho'Gath. Ooh, and the first Rupture is there, and a snowball dodge from Crossblade. Again, starting off strong here on the Cho'Gath, but there is the knockup. Oh no, Fomocry with already the Ignite down forces Flash and Barrier out of Crossblade.
Yeah, Crossblade just clicked forward. Very strangely, I feel.
You got to be careful there. Oh no, the Rupture does not land. Does at least get the Feral Scream, but man, and actually, okay, Fomocry swapped to the Guardian's Hammer. That's part of the reason he had that much damage in the all-in.
I kind of like it because, I mean, the main thing that was happening last time we had this matchup is that he was just getting poked down by Ruptures. So, like, we were saying he doesn't need the sustain with Guardian's Hammer, but maybe against Cho'Gath, it actually helps out quite a bit.
Yeah, it's going to make his trades more dangerous. I mean, we already saw that, and I do need to point out something pretty important, which is that Fomocry swapped to the Pool Party Rek'Sai, a downgrade in my judgment.
See, if it didn't have the vest, I would probably consider this one of the better Rek'Sai skins. I love the blue, like...
The texture quality just is not very good on him, though. I mean, he looks like a RuneScape character.
Nah, it's just the best.
He looks like PlayStation 1.
But, you know, that's what it's all about, you know, the graphics.
It's all about the graphics. Fomocry doesn't have them, but he opted for the Pool Party anyway. Crossblade down a couple of CS, but healing back up pretty well right now. Not landing as many Ruptures, though, even without the boots. Fomocry maybe getting a little bit more into the groove of dodging those Cho'Gath skill shots and feeling pretty good right now.
Doubling CS, not that it matters too much with how early we are, but we do rarely see people come back from CS deficits, actually.
Ooh, snowball into the knockup there. Crossblade is going to hit the Rupture. A lot of damage onto the Cho'Gath, and now the minions and the Feral Scream are going to return a bit. Fomocry still on the hunt. Rupture does not land. At the end of the day, they're both about even. But keep in mind, of course, the Rek'Sai is going to have much better sustain. Cho'Gath has the Cho'Gath passive, but the Guardian's Hammer plus the Fury of the Xerxai is going to be very useful for Fomocry. Feral Scream going to land. Rupture does not. And looking once again, Prey Seeker. A lot of minions to clean up here, too. Oh, here we have another all-in. Snowball into the knockup. Ignite is down. The Rupture there on to the Rek'Sai. Void Rush is available. And that is going to finish it off. Fomocry taking us to game number 4, up 2-1, again with that Rek'Sai ultimate finisher.
That was good.
Yeah. I'm really curious where you go from here if you're Crossblade. I mean, do you stick with, well, spoiler, I just saw, he is sticking with the Cho'Gath here on match point. So with his back against the wall, Crossblade, who picked up that win in game number 1 on the Cho'Gath against the Rek'Sai. Game 2, tries the Bel'Veth into the Rek'Sai instead. Doesn't work. Game 3 goes back to the tried and true Cho'Gath. This time, Fomocry has him figured out and picks up the win. Now 2-1 up. Fomocry, a reigning champion from the Shadow Isles Aesir 1v1, has got his eyes set on the prize once again. If he can win this game 4, he's got it. Crossblade has got to win this game 4 and a game 5 to make it out as the champion.
I kind of think he's got it. I think the small variety in his builds, third game from first game, made almost all the difference. I mean, I will say Crossblade looked a little bit stranger with where he was throwing spells, but I think the main thing was Fomocry's build variation, or build adaptation.
Yeah, I mean, he's fiddling with it every game, just about. I mean, trying the snowball, trying, okay, Guardian's Horn, Guardian's Hammer. I mean, he's really... We haven't actually taken that close of a look at his runes. I don't know if he's changed his secondary between the times that we've checked it out. He's been sticking with the Conqueror keystone, at least, the entire time, but...
Well, we know he was going bone plating and overgrowth, correct?
Yeah, in the one that we checked, but I don't know if he's been adapting throughout the tournament or he's just been rolling with that all the way. Not sure. We can check at this game to see if he did change it at all, but I mean, it worked for him last game.
Should take a look. It's definitely what I would be running against a Cho'Gath, but I also got knocked out first round both turns, so.
Well, here we go. We are 2 seconds away. And we're going to load into the Abyss here for the Aesir 1v1 Void Edition Grand Finals. This is game number 4, Fomocry against Crossblade. Crossblade picked up the win in game number 1, but 2 and 3 have been all Fomocry on the Rek'Sai all the way. He's looking to make it 3 in a row, or 2 tournaments in a row as well. Can Crossblade bring it back once again? He's rolling with the Cho'Gath. Check out the Rek'Sai runes. Actually did swap, so no bone plating.
Okay.
Welcome to the Howling Abyss.
Oh, and
So went for the Revitalize
Guardian
and the second wind.
a lot of change up on the items.
Whoa, yeah. I was all zoned in on the runes, but here we have Guardian's Blade this time for Fomocry. He's doing a tour of all the Guardian's items, just about completed. Might see the AP Rek'Sai if we have a game 5. No, hopefully not. Plated steel caps and cloth armor coming through for Crossblade. So going to have a lot of movement speed and a lot of armor. Very interesting. So with this kind of build, I mean, I'm curious, is he just aiming for a CS victory or something? I mean, I suppose if he plays defensively, the all-ins are going to be in his favor just because how much resistances he has, but really going to be missing that damage that he had with the AP build. There's a snowball, there's the knock up, the barrier comes down, a tower shot is there, Crossblade taking a lot of damage, even with the armor. Look at that, he's already down 75% HP. Is going to hit the Rupture and the Feral Scream and the Comet for a little bit of trading back, but Fomocry setting the tone once again.
Well, I understand the... What are they called nowadays? Because they're not Ninja Tab.
Plated steel caps.
I understand them because almost all of Rek'Sai's damage is in his auto attacks, but I still can't say I like it, because oof.
Yeah. Oh, the snowball, the knock up. There's the ignite down. I think the last tick is going to do it. Yes, Fomocry is your grand champion of the Aesir 1v1 once again. Adaptations from Crossblade were not enough. 3-1. He did drop one game for the first time in any of our 2 tournaments he's taken part in. But he is the winner once again.
Very nice. Very like those crazy all-ins from Rek'Sai. They're just too much.
The snowball. I mean, I really think the snowball
That
is just
too.
crazy. I mean, he can do anything he wants with the tunnels, knowing that as long as he hits that snowball, which let's face it, Cho'Gath is a large target, he's
Right.
gonna get the knockup, and that's kind of all he needs.
Also, if you're on top of somebody, it just helps you be stickier.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Cho'Gath had the extra movement speed, right? Not going to be enough when you get the snowball. You just snowball right back onto him. All right. Well, sadly, that is going to do it for our tournament tonight. Before we sign off, I'm going to go ahead and we'll hop up and hear from Fomacry if our grand champion, our two-time champion now, has anything to say on how to win 1v1s, how to win both Shadow Isles and the Void. Rek'Sai tricks, tips, and tricks. We'll find out.
We'll find out.
Hello, Fomacry and fellow participants in the Aesir 1v1. Congratulations, Fomacry. You are the champion once again. 3-1, piloting the Rek'Sai all the way. How does it feel to be grand champion of the Aesir 1v1 Void Edition?
Feels good.
Excellent, excellent. So we saw some adaptations from you. You kind of messed with the runes. You went with the snowball later on. Do you think that snowball ignites kind of the best setup on Rek'Sai, or does it kind of depend on, was it specifically for Cho'Gath in particular?
I think it's matchup specific, but yeah, it helps a lot against Cho'Gath.
Very cool. Well, I think that's going to go ahead and do it for us. Thank you, Fomacry, for your words on the win. And thank you, all of our viewers, and of course, Fold Method, our organizer, and everyone for participating in the Aesir 1v1. We'll be back again in 2 weeks' time with the Zaun edition with a whole new slew of champions for everyone to pick from. So be sure to join. Sign up there on Battlefy is going to be up, or you can tune in here on Twitch and just watch. Either way. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Steiner, my co-caster. We will go ahead and sign off and say goodnight, and we'll be back in 2 weeks. See you then.